You've read paragraphs upon paragraphs of hero description text, cosmetic descriptions, speculatory theories about the lore of Dota 2, but you've always pondered something more. Who exactly is SirActionSlacks, the person behind so much of the revealing of Dota 2's complex and dynamic tales? What is the reason for all of this record-keeping? And so, it is that you find yourself here, seeking answers, and answers you shall have. But first, you must come with me on a journey into the channel that made all of this possible, and about the man who would eventually be known as Dota 2's Loremaster. A journey into the content creation. Welcome to Constructive Creators Episode 2, the show where we look at some of YouTube's finest creators and gaming personalities. I am your host, KnightShade, and it's a pleasure to have you on board. Let's get started. Dota 2, or Defense of the Ancients 2, is a game that doesn't seem to have that much of a story, on the surface anyways. At first glance, it's just a game about two different ancient gods having a bit of a war that never ends using two teams made up of 5 different heroes, with both teams trying to kill each other's ancient. But if you look past the tip of the iceberg, you'll see all the different little cogs and parts that make up this story. From all the Dark Souls-like descriptions in both items and cosmetics, the copious amounts of voice lines that reference events that have happened in the past leading up to the Battle of the Ancients.
Oh, I saw you years ago in Roseleaf. Kept my distance though, so I wouldn't get murdered. I heard a rumour of some Gorgons being moved through Weeping Rose. Listen, Meepo, I'm not saying the Jasper Circle wants to kill you. I'm just saying that they're losing faith you're going to pay them back.
To the eventually included arcanas and hero personas that totally change up how a hero's lore is contextualized.
You seen Lady Ongshu? I think we need to teach that zealot a lesson. I worked for a king once. One of the best years of my life. Oi, tell your boss these chains are mine. I had a gallant once. Said his friends had come for me, but I haven't heard from him.
And how should I put this? Here we go. Less than stellar card game. There's quite a lot of material to chew on. And so, the lore of Dota 2 became complex, confusing, and untold to some for a great amount of time. That is, until SirActionSlacks came along. SirActionSlacks founded his channel on March 21st, 2011, a little more than 2 years before Dota 2 would see its release, on July 9th, 2013. At the time of his channel's creation, he knew nothing about the fact that he would eventually become Dota 2's Loremaster. At present, he has almost 200,000 subscribers, and over 300 videos, including a huge lore series about Dota 2, titled Dota Loregasm. He also co-hosts a series on another well-known Dota channel, Dota Cinema, called Fails of the Week, as a sort of side project. In this extremely long-running series, SunsFan, one of the people behind Dota Cinema, and Slacks would commentate various fails in games of Dota 2, be that an extremely whiffed or botched Chronospear that pisses off the entire team.
Dude!
You spent more time on this shitty fucking Void episode than you have in a year!
Look at these pictures. God damn,
yeah,
Neil.
this one's pretty good. This one's pretty good, actually. This is a pretty good clip. That's a pretty good clip.
Pay attention here.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 4-man.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Do not.
Where's Void? Oh, there he is.
Oh my god.
You know what's good about this clip? He's gonna do it
What's
again.
that?
He's gonna do it again.
What does that mean?
It happens again.
The replay?
In the game. In the actual game.
Why didn't you show it? Is this the same game?
This is the same game.
Oh, okay. Why did you spoil it for us, Neil?
Well, now it's worthless,
Now we
Neil.
know there's going to be a Chronosphere in a Void-only episode.
You've ruined it, Neil.
Christ, kill me.
Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil the next clip.
Poorly coordinated team fights, or shenanigans with Roshan, there's always something to laugh at when you watch Fails of the Week. Suns fans and Slacks' personalities really play off of each other, making it a joy to watch with every single episode. Outside of collaborative works like Fails, as stated before, Slacks is Dota 2's prime Loremaster, always jumping at the next opportunity to explain the lore of Dota 2 whenever it presents itself. Some of the topics he covers are that of the stories of the various Arcana skins you can get for certain heroes, how Grimstroke massacred his entire race and village, the mystery of the Void Spirit and the Great Confluence, and much, much more. He doesn't limit himself to just getting lore out of Dota 2 either. He also makes sure to bring in lore from Artifact when necessary, which is canon to Dota 2, which I believe also is happening at the same time as Dota 2, but don't quote me on that. Feel free to correct me down in the comments below if I'm wrong. That is, in fact, a good thing, because really, who plays Artifact these days? Not me, I know that for sure. Like any good researcher or historian of any topic, Slacks takes pride in his work with the Dota 2 lore, and makes it accessible to just about anyone. He also doesn't limit himself in his scope of topics for lore either. If there's enough demand for it and enough mystery around the subject, you can bet that he'll definitely cover it. Granted, he doesn't have a ton of Loregasm episodes, but that's because these are all very high quality productions, and I believe that he does have multiple people hard at work on them, for the editing part anyways. I really do respect him and his team of editors for having such a deep commitment for not only the depth of Dota 2's story, but for his work in general. In terms of my personal favorites, I really like the piece that he did about various other gods in the Dota 2 universe, other than the Radiant and Dire Ancients. Gods like Omniknight's Omniscience, which some heroes consider to be a false god, the strange yet bloodthirsty relationship that the Bloodseeker and the Flayed Twins have with each other, and the ever-present undead malice that is the Dirge, commanded by the Dead God and his, well, Army of the Dead, are just some examples of the other gods that make their home in the universe of Dota 2. It really does make you think about the true scope of the game's pantheon of gods, as even some of the Greek and Roman gods come to play a part in the War of the Ancients, as actual playable heroes in the game, like Zeus, the Greek god of thunder, and Mars, the Roman god of war. You can call me crazy if you'd like, but perhaps it's only a matter of time before we get a Nordic hero of some sort in the game. Hell, Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, has been in the game for as long as I can remember, so why not put him in? Or maybe we could have Odin as a playable hero one day, with him riding into battle on his 8-legged horse, Sleipnir, with his spear, Gungnir. Man, Odin has two things that both end in Nir that you'd think that his favorite PS3 game was that of almost the same name. Did you get it? Yeah, that was supposed to be a joke. Oh come on. Yeah, I know, I'll exit stage right. But I digress. Let's return to the present topic. At this time, the 10th anniversary of the International Tournament is close to kicking off. The Battle Pass released a few weeks ago, the Divine Sanctum map was released, Anti-Mage just got a female hero persona, starring Laura Bailey as her voice actor, Wraith King and Queen of Pain have Arcanas now, with Windrunner most likely following closely after them, and Pudge is also set to get his own hero persona this year, giving Slacks even more material to work with. However, one curious detail that some people might not have picked up on immediately is that of Aghanim's scepter. Up until recently, the gem at the top of the scepter was whole and untouched, but then Slacks noticed in a post on Twitter that the scepter itself began to crack. What could this mean? Could it mark the return of Rubik's long-presumed dead or disappeared wizard father, Aghanim himself, as a playable hero when the scepter fully breaks, assuming Aghanim put his soul in the scepter and enchanted it with the power to enhance the strength of any hero by giving them new abilities, that is? Or could it mean something more, perhaps? That is for the Dota 2 community and for Slacks himself to figure out. Yeah, about that. I wrote this script hours before the Aghanim's Labyrinth Battle Pass event came out, and I really didn't feel like changing the script or narration for this video afterwards, so disregard what I just said about Aghanim. Carry on past me. I guess this is the charm about making your own Dota 2 theories. You never quite know if you'll be right or wrong with them. Thus, the loom wheel of Dota 2's story ever continues to turn and turn, and Slacks shall ever be the vigilant lore keeper that history deigned he be. However, when the wheel of Dota 2 eventually stops spinning, and the events and updates stop coming out, Slacks and his team can look back upon all their work on the lore of Dota 2 with pride and a sense of wonder at what they achieved over the years. But until that time comes, there will always be a need for lore. And so ends Constructive Creators Episode 2. If you wish to subscribe to SirActionSlacks, I will link his channel in the description below. He's almost at 200,000 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd go help him out a bit. Him and his team of editors really put a ton of work into what they do, and that's what makes him so entertaining to watch. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Constructive Creators, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.